Tuesday, January 20th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A lot to discuss today. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with a look back at some very pleasant high temperatures from yesterday. 70 degrees, the high in Columbia. It was 64 for high in Charlotte, 65 in Fayetteville and Wilmington, 63 in Raleigh, 61 in Greensboro and Greenville, even Boone up to 53 yesterday. Currently, that's a live look as I'm cutting this video during the 5 o'clock hour at the Banner Elk web camera, courtesy of ResortCams.com. Temperature there, not too bad, 37 with a very light northeast wind. Other temperatures across the region during the 5 a.m. hour today, 43 in Charlotte and Raleigh, 51 in Columbia, Myrtle Beach at 52, 43 in Elizabeth City and Greenville, North Carolina. Here's the setup today. A little clipper type system, a little weak low pressure zipping in from the northwest. A little deck of some cloud cover formed overnight. That's one of the reasons we have some slightly milder temperatures this morning. I think those clouds will decrease as we get deeper into the morning. We'll have a good deal of sunshine and then clouds increase again as we head on toward late day and tonight. On the radar imagery, rather, nothing going on here. A couple areas of some rain and snow showers over the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes region there, parts of Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois there. But very quiet across the southeast. So these are the actual recorded highs from yesterday. And notice the upper 60s to around 70-degree readings in many spots. Shreveport hit 70. It was 68 in Birmingham, 65 at Memphis. Dodge City, Kansas, 72 yesterday. All right, so again, this little system approaching today, a little bit of high-level cloud cover at times. And then those clouds certainly increasing tonight as the actual low pressure begins to move on through. Your highs today, there they are, very pleasant once again. Another really nice day to spend some time outside this afternoon. Then tomorrow, we'll see some partly sunny to a partly cloudy type of sky out there. Temperatures tomorrow not quite as warm as what we're going to wind up with today, but still not bad at all there. Not bad at all for those Wednesday numbers. And then we get on into Thursday, and that's when we begin to see some cooler air bleeding in here from the north. We'll call it a partly sunny to mostly cloudy type of sky from north to south across the region Thursday. And there's your highs, beginning to scale those back just a bit, but still not too bad at all for Thursday. And I'll show you all the high-resolution modeling on this in just a moment, but the basic idea then with our system from late Friday into Saturday is all the models have now come around into agreement with a much stronger system and also a much warmer system, as this system really is a pretty intense area of low pressure that really strengthens as it moves right up the Carolina coast. As we get into Friday night and Saturday morning, that's the European model solution from overnight. And so, you wind up with a scenario, first of all, where you get a good deal of liquid equivalent precipitation, over 1 inch of liquid equivalent precip over much of the Piedmont of the European, 2 inches along the coast. But due to the more inland track of that low pressure and there really being a lack of any true Arctic air involved right nearby with this system, you wind up with mostly rain. Now, this is what, again, I'll show you the more detailed modeling in just a second, but that's the European snow chart there for this system. Now, let me step you through the more high-resolution modeling, and this is courtesy of weatherbell.com. Most of these images you're going to see here. So this is the European model. This is valid at, let's see, it'd be 8 o'clock, or I should say 7 o'clock in the evening, rather, there on Friday evening. Okay, we go 6 hours later. This is just after midnight, and there's your low pressure actually centered not too far near and just west of Myrtle Beach. Go a little bit further, and this is right around daybreak Saturday. And you have that classic comma head of precipitation there on the northwest side of this area of low pressure right there. And then again, your actual low centered right about there. All right, we go out a little bit further. This is early afternoon Saturday, the low pressure pulling away. So that is the European model solution, and here's the snow chart you wind up with from the European. Pretty good snow event for the mountains. And this would be a deal where if that European solution were correct, right underneath that band of heavy precipitation there through the northern foothills and maybe the far northwest Piedmont, you could wind up with a period of some snow there due to some dynamic cooling processes. But that is a bit of a conjecture at this point. Now let me show you a couple other models here, and then I'll give you some thoughts on this. This is the 0Z run of the GFS, and I grabbed an image from the 6Z just a moment ago, so just stand by. I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so there's your 0Z GFS run, low pressure centered near the Florida Panhandle at Friday evening. Overnight Friday night, there it goes off the coast near Savannah, and then just offshore of Wilmington, and then it continues to move further north from there. The system on the 0Z run GFS was a weaker system, and these are showing you precipitation types. So you notice it's all rain here on the 0Z GFS. So this is a scenario where the system's a little weaker. You don't get the dynamic cooling. You don't get as much precipitation, but it still stays all rain. Now this is the 6Z run, the GFS. It's coming around to the stronger solution. Most other modeling has been indicating low pressure tucked up around Wilmington then daybreak Saturday. That's a lot of rain across the region, a little bit more intense precipitation. So again, toward the mountains, you could see some dynamic cooling generating some snow, but for most of us that would be rain. Let me see. If you want to continue to look at some other modeling here, let me show you the Canadian snow chart with this system. You can see it stays pretty far to the north. And if you're wondering if the ensembles are in agreement here, this is the European ensemble mean, and you overlay that right there. Let's see. I didn't actually put the surface chart in here, but either way, that's the ensemble mean. Let me see if I can go back here on this image, grab that image from 108. Let's see. All right, there you go. All right, so there you see the surface low position centered over southeastern North Carolina on the ensemble mean. There it is. Really very good agreement. And if you want to look at more detailed charts here, I know this is going to be almost impossible to see, but this is the clustering of the low pressure positions from the various members of the European ensemble. And they're all pretty tightly clustered there, right along the North Carolina coast. Some are pretty strong, but the basic idea is pretty well agreed upon. So with that in mind, let me just go back to this chart and give you a for instance. I think we're looking at this point, the most likely scenario being we see some rain across most of the Piedmont, anywhere from late Friday to Friday night and Saturday morning. Maybe if the track of the low, especially were to shift just a little bit offshore, you could wind up with that heavy band of some snow over certainly the mountains and maybe parts of the foothills in northwestern or western Piedmont, but right now the trend has been for a stronger and a warmer system. Now, before I wrap up the video, I want to show you this. This is out to Monday. All right, so this is Monday morning on the GFS model, and then here's Monday afternoon and evening as we get that pretty good little clipper system dive through. And it is enough to generate some snow. That's the accumulated snowfall off the GFS model, and I'll zoom that in here, and you can see that it does put down some snow over parts of North Carolina and the northwesternmost tip of South Carolina, northeastern Georgia. That's with a really strong clipper-type system diving in here from Monday. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And I just saw the 6Z GFS, and it is still in agreement with that chance of a little bit of snow on Monday. So a lot to talk about. We'll keep a watch on that late Friday and Friday night into Saturday morning system. The trend has been toward a warmer and a more rain as opposed to snow type of system with the overnight models. Again, we'll also keep a look on that Monday system too. All right, that's it for today's edition of the video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.